Murder in Oklahoma in 2004. But the result was still nil. Many questions arose in my head at this time, and I was dragged further into the mystery. This afternoon, I had just gotten home from Wesleyan University. There was no other activity after I got home. Usually I just ate, read a mystery novel and went to bed. I don't have any other schedules because I'm so busy with classes. In fact, Mr. Kim sometimes came home at midnight. However, this time was a bit different. Since I have a computer in my room, I often surf the internet to read the news or just look for an interesting mystery blog to read. I feel hungry. I went out of the room and grabbed a few slices of bread from the kitchen for my dinner. Mr. Kim had prepared it for me. He's so nice. I'm lucky to know him. All of this is also thanks to Mr. Brian, who has considered me as his own brother and entrusted me to Mr. Kim. In fact, Mr. Brian still often asks how I'm doing. Mr. Brian is the second most intense person who asks how I am after my parents. I went back into the room. I'm going to read yesterday's mystery blog. I sat down in front of the computer and started it up. This time, I searched for a mystery blog that I used to read on the internet through Internet Explorer's history. My eyes fell on the search history from a few days ago. I haven't deleted that history yet. I saw some search histories about Sherlie. Suddenly, I intended to continue searching for her information. I clicked on the history and started reading the news displayed by the search engine. However, the results were nil as usual. I thought about changing the search keywords again and changing the search filter. I changed the search time to anytime. Finally, there were some news stories about the murder. However, instead of the year 2004, it was 2006 and the most recent one was in 2008. Which means, it happened this year. The murder happened a few months back before I came here. I was curious and read the news carefully. I thought to myself, premeditated murder. One perpetrator has been caught and is being handled by the police. I continued to read silently. Feeling that all my efforts had come to nothing, I began to look for information in other ways. That was to search for the real identity of Sherlie's family, through the status of the owner of her home cable phone number in Road 111. I searched through the official website of the phone number information provider in Oklahoma City. Through this official website, I was able to find the phone number of the house, and the limited identity of the owner. By going through the details of the home address. This method is usually used if we want to contact a distant relative and only know the details of his home address. Home addresses and domicile addresses are very private things. Only the person concerned knows it. So, giving out your home address is a very risky thing to do in the United States. I tried logging into the site. It asked for a unique code that I had to match, to confirm that I wasn't a hacker. This site is similar to the Yellow Pages. However, it was more focused on providing landline phone information. I managed to log in to the site and tried searching by home address. I entered Sherlie's address. Southwest 89th Street. The site asked me to enter the house number details. Road 111. And as a result, there wasn't any data. I re-entered the address carefully. I reversed the address to 111 Road. The result was still nothing. No way. I tried entering Mr. Kim's house data and then waited for a while. As it turned out, the site displayed detailed and accurate results. On the site, Mr. Kim's name was written as the owner of the cable phone number in this house. It also said the landline phone number of this house. I tried to re-enter Sherlie's home address. I waited for a while. And the result, still nothing. Maybe the house Sherlie lives in doesn't have a landline? Isn't that the main need for communication? If it is true that the house does not have a landline, then in my opinion, there are two possibilities. Either the house has been unoccupied for a long time, or the occupants are just renting the house and don't intend to stay long. Could it be that Sherlie and her mother were just renting the house? Then she lied when she said that she had lived in the house for a long time. But why did she say she still lived in the house, when she called Alan in 2004? I finished my browsing on the internet and sat on the edge of the bed. Then I grabbed something from my closet. I took Alan's note and started reading it again. Sherlie's figure in Alan's story confused me. Apparently, my adventure wasn't over yet. And perhaps, it would be a very long journey. I read Alan's notes carefully, and found some writings in his notes that I thought contradicted the reality when I met Sherlie. Here's what I found. They think I ran away from home because I disagreed with their divorce. But I swear, I'm being held captive. Help me, she replied while crying. Who lives in your house now? I asked her. I live with my mom and dad. They just got divorced, she replied sobbing.
They think I ran away from home because I disagree about their divorce. I swear. I'm being held captive.
Hello Sherlie. Who lives in your house right now?
I live with my mom and dad. But they just got divorced.
I was speechless when I read this note. Apparently, Sherlie in Alan's note mentioned that she lived with her father and mother in that house. Whereas the Sherlie I met said that only she and her mother lived in that house. As for house number 111 being Sherlie's house, I have proven it. The house is real. This means that Sherlie in Alan's notes was telling the truth. But some of Sherlie's words I can't prove at the moment. But wait a minute. The girl in the house also claimed to be Sherlie. And just the same, some of her words I can't prove. Could there be two Sherlies? Which one is the real Sherlie? The Sherlie who claimed to be locked up, or the Sherlie I met in that house? If the real Sherlie was the Sherlie in Alan's notes and claimed to be held captive, then what was the reason the girl I met claimed to be named Sherlie? Did she know about the real Sherlie in Alan's notes? Because, there's no way she would pretend if there wasn't a specific purpose. If the Sherlie I met was the real Sherlie, why did she claim that she called Alan? As if giving an alibi to the fake Sherlie in Alan's note. But in reality, she also gave arguments that did not match what the fake Sherlie said in Alan's notes. I suspect that the Sherlie I met was trying to hide Sherlie's identity in Alan's story. I still don't have much evidence. My guess could be wrong. There are still some odd things, like who the man was who called Alan after Sherlie hung up. Then about her threat to Alan that he would never tell anyone about Sherlie. He only wanted to talk about Sherlie to me. I reread Alan's notes more carefully. This time, I tried to be even more thorough. I found a code and read it more carefully when Sherlie confessed to being held captive. I scrutinized the words, word by word. I was sure there was a new clue. I was actually forced to call you all the time by the old woman who kept me here, to ask for your home address. An old woman with curly hair and dark brown eyes. Sherlie said,
I was actually forced to always call you by an old woman who kept me here. She told me to ask for your home address. Curly hair and dark brown eyes. Help me.
A curly-haired woman? I furrowed my brows. I think I've seen those features before. Is that Sherlie's biological mother in that house? By any chance, this Sherlie in Alan's notes knew that girl's biological mother? It's impossible to name features that are identical to someone if you haven't seen them before. Especially if it's just a guess. Possible that what Sherlie said in Alan's note is the closest to the truth. Finally, I came to an absurd conclusion. I thought there were two Sherlies. One Sherlie is the real Sherlie. And the other one is just claiming to be Sherlie to cover up the real Sherlie. There are two possibilities. If the Sherlie I met is the real Sherlie, then the fake Sherlie in Alan's notes is pretending to be kept and is just playing tricks on Alan. However, if the real Sherlie was the girl who confessed to Alan that she was being held captive and the fake Sherlie was the girl I met at the house, then the fake Sherlie was pretending to be Sherlie to trick me. She intended to trick me, since I knew about the real Sherlie. I thought for a moment. Then where was the real Sherlie? Holy shit. I get it now. Why Alan didn't call the police back then. That incident happened 4 years ago. What happened to the real Sherlie in Alan's notes? Wasn't the news about her being held captive not on the news? Could the real Sherlie have been found? Or she was?
During this time, do you know all the events that happened in Oklahoma City?
What events?
Like criminal cases, maybe?
I shuddered as I recalled Sherlie's question at home about the criminal case. Sherlie asked if I knew about it? Oh my, what was I thinking? I said as I washed the sweat off my forehead. I closed Alan's notebook and started taking deep breaths. I didn't need to trust my mind too much. It seemed like I was getting poisoned by the mystery stories. In my opinion, I should go back to that house one last time. This time, I will question Sherlie more deeply. I don't care anymore, rather than being curious for the rest of my life. I don't mind sacrificing time to see her again. After all, Mr. Kim invited me back there tomorrow. If Sherlie got angry because of my question, the worst thing I would get would probably be kicked out by her mother. What would that old woman do to me? Try to kill me? No way.